Good morning and welcome to John Beck. This is your principal, Mr. Lin, and I hope that you had a wonderful Thursday yesterday. Today is Friday, November 10th, 2023, and it is a day B. For instrumentals, it's a day 2. Now, before we kick off this wonderful day, I want to invite you, as I always do, to please stand and face the flag for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. You can go ahead and take a seat. I'm so happy that you guys are here in school. All of you. I mean all of you. I love the fact that you guys are in school. I love the fact that so many of you fourth graders came out to our breakfast earlier this morning to honor our veterans. Today is our school's celebration of Veterans Day. Tomorrow is which is Saturday, that's the actual Veterans Day, but of course we're not here in school, so we are going to celebrate the veterans in our community today, Friday. And your singing was amazing. I love it. I know that you and Miss Horton put in a lot of practice just to put together a wonderful product. And the other thing too is that for those of you guys who were there at breakfast, how cool is it to see how many veterans we have who served on behalf of us, who served in our military, who continue to serve for some of them, and what an honor it is for our school to be able to have them walking through our doors and just sit down and enjoy our community. How wonderful. Now, here's a kind of this day in history, but it's really not because I'm talking about tomorrow, and a little bit of background about Veterans Day, okay? Veterans Day, actually, the whole idea came out in about 106 years ago, in the year 1918. For those of you guys who love your history, you might realize that that was right around the end of World War I. And World War I was, well, frankly, it was a war that was fought all over the world, and you had countries on both sides, and, it was frankly a pretty bloody war. But as the war came to an end, people realized that that was a pretty significant, meaningful milestone, and perhaps it should be commemorated. And so the first idea that kind of led to Veterans Day was to call it Armistice Day. Armistice is just a fancy word for peace, right? The bringing of peace, the end of World War I. And Armistice Day actually is still celebrated around the world. But over time, the idea of honoring those who fought in World War I began to evolve. So by 1945, there was actually a movement to try to expand Armistice Day into celebrating all those who had fought. And for those of you guys who love your history, 1945 was actually the same year that World War II ended. So naturally, people were beginning to think, you know what, we've got this holiday to celebrate the World War I veterans. Do we need another holiday to celebrate World War II veterans, or should we just put them together and honor all of the veterans? Well, that makes sense. And so there was this movement to keep pushing this idea of a holiday to celebrate all of the veterans. And by 1954, the Congress and the president at the time, Dwight Eisenhower, said, you know what, it's about time. Let's officially create Veterans Day as a federal holiday. And 1954 was 69 years ago. And so almost 70 years ago, right? So this holiday that we celebrate honoring our veterans has been around for 70 years. And I really do appreciate that we are honoring not just the World War I veterans, not just the World War II veterans, but so on and so forth, dating all the way back to the American Revolution, up to all of the engagements that our military and our operations that our military are involved in even today. Okay, so today when we think about respect, responsibility, and readiness, I want you to think about appreciating our country, appreciating the opportunities that are given to us and are protected or have been protected by veterans like the ones that walked in through our doors earlier this morning. All right, so that's my This Day in History. It is wrapped up with the review of the 3 R's. Now, the other thing, too, is speaking of opportunities, I want to give a shout out to a couple 6th graders, Jared, Easton, Austin, and Cameron, for coming up with their own idea, right? One of the great things here in America is the freedom of speech, and how cool is it that that these four decided to put together using the gift of speech, the gift of using the words that come out of their mouth to share information. They've wanted to do a leadership project of occasionally putting together a sports broadcast. So, without further ado, let me turn it over to them because we do have an interesting slate of competition coming up this weekend.
Good morning and welcome to the Sports Podcast. Today we'll be talking about college football and NBA basketball. We'll start off with college predictions. Who do you think is going to win the Ohio State-Michigan State game, Jared?
I think Ohio State's going to come away with a big win, 42-10.
Easton?
I think 27-14, Ohio State.
I think Michigan State is going to lose by 3 touchdowns, 21-0. All right, now I move on to the Penn State-Michigan game. Who would you think will win, Jared?
I'm saying Michigan's going to barely come away with the win, 21-17.
I think Penn State's going to win 27-20.
I think it's going to be 23-20 Michigan. Now we move on to NBA basketball. To start off the day, we have Philadelphia playing against Detroit. After that, we have Charlotte versus Washington. Then Brooklyn plays against Boston. New Orleans plays against the Houston Rockets. Utah plays against Memphis. Minnesota plays against Victor Wembanyama and the Spurs. And LA plays against Luka and the Dallas Mavericks. And Los Angeles plays Phoenix. Oklahoma City plays Sacramento. Okay, have a good day.
Thank you, gentlemen. Really appreciate the work that you guys put into creating the first sports cast. You guys did a great job. I look forward to some of those competitions. I'm not sure if I buy into all of your predictions, but as a Penn State fan, I am really looking forward to Penn State being a dominant team like I always believe they can be. Now, listen, if nobody else has told you this, I want you to hear it from me because I mean it, and anyone else who uses these words, I'm sure that they mean it too. That includes your teachers, and that includes any member of staff, and as well as your friends, the boys and girls that you go to school with. And that is this: I love you, I care about you, I'm here to encourage you. Boys and girls, go spread that message. Do it with fun, creative ways. The boys that were doing the sports cast, that was a really fun way of showing an investment and a care in our school. They did a sports cast. How creative is that? And they worked with me, and that sports cast took a little bit of time to get together, and there was a lot of work behind the scenes. It looks like Austin might have been the cameraman. That's why you didn't see him, and they put together a nice little product. Now, that was one creative way to show love, care, and encouragement to this school. What are some of the creative ways you could show what love looks like, or care looks like, or what encouragement looks like? All right? And once you come up with those great creative ideas, go ahead and do them. Figure out ways to appropriately show what love, care, and encouragement can look like this Friday as you go into the weekend. All right? I can't wait to see you guys around. Have an awesome day.